Good morning, everyone. It's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Hope you guys are having a really good day here. I am so sorry. I've been a little bit distracted this morning, but we've got some news here. Just got to make sure everything's up here and running. For some reason, my system is being goofy right now. So it has been quite the day of trying to stay on track and keep everything moving and getting you guys all of the stories that you need to keep your insatiable need related to all the tea, the drama, everything going on with Teen Mom OG and everything else. So let me figure out, I got to close out some stuff here because my output looks like it's low. Just give me 1 second here. Sorry guys, got a lot of stuff open. I was in the middle of doing a million things today. I was just interviewed by the Today Show and I was trying to find some photos for them. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I have to go on live. So I hope you guys are having a good morning. It's Monday and we have some updates related to Amber Portwood. What's new? What's exciting? What are we doing? What's going on? Now, why is this showing like the output is low on here? Hopefully you guys are getting a good stream here because for some reason this is not. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. All right. I was showing low output and I was like, I hope you guys aren't getting interrupted here. All right. So here we go. We all know what happened on July 5th by this point in time related to Amber Portwood. She has been in legal hot water for the last few weeks, and there's been a lot of questions on whether or not this is going to lead to her termination with MTV. The recent altercation between her, Andrew Glennon, and her son involved the use of a cucumber, which has so many different names on this channel. I've heard that my use of code words has become almost semi-famous on YouTube, I guess. Cool. So we know that the case here involved the use of weapons that are definitely dangerous. So here we go. MTV apparently has been standing behind her during this entire time. However, TMZ actually spoke with someone connected to production to discuss everything going on here. And according to TMZ, the producers at MTV are actually considering terminating her because of the incident involving a cucumber. Now, why would it be different? Well, it's because this time her charges are far more serious than the ones in the previous case. If you remember, her case from 2011 did not involve the use of anything beyond her fists, let's just say, and this one actually involved a object. And because of that, MTV is considering terminating her. Apparently, MTV said that they will allow this to play out in the legal system. However, they are also weighing options at this point. According to TMZ, they're going to see if she's actually convicted before they make any choices, which to me seems a little bit crazy. They fired Janelle Eason without a conviction. They got rid of Farrah without any convictions. But in the case of Amber, they're going to wait for a conviction. The reasons and the rationalizations here for MTV seems inconsistent from person to person, and it seems like their incessant need to hang on to drama is part of the reason why they might be waiting to make a decision. I think anyone that's seen the affidavit in this case knows that what happened here is extremely serious, and it's been pretty clear that it involved a child, which should be reason enough for MTV to cut ties with her. However, MTV seems unwilling to make that choice just yet. It sounds like if the conviction moves forward, that will definitely be the end of everything. I do wonder why they make decisions in one case where they bend to public pressure to get rid of Janelle, but that in this case they don't. It makes zero sense to me. I don't get it. Janelle's case was obviously very serious, but so is this. And there's definitely going to be no more drama if she's gone away. But at the same time, do you really need a conviction in this point when she's admitted to police that she did this and he was holding their son? It really, to me, it just seems really irresponsible by MTV to wait this out and wait for things to sort of, I don't know, see how the chips fall. I mean, if we're going to go with that route, MTV, Columbus County Sheriff's Office literally released a statement last week that nothing happened on the property of Janelle and David's. And because they've said nothing happened, why don't you just rehire her, since nothing happened here? There was no one that got in trouble, no circuses, nothing. I mean, in fact, David never even got arrested. But then in the case of Amber, who has now 3 felonies that she's facing, they're still not firing her. Now, the rationalization here for them is that if they don't fire her, they're going to look really bad because of the liability of this specific incident involving a child. Well, duh. But isn't it already at a point where it's already involved a child? And we're now at a point where this is going to be the second child of Amber's that she's lost custody of. If you remember, she lost full custody of Leah in 2011 after what happened with Gary, and she's never regained that custody at all. So why then would she be even featured if she loses custody of 2 kids? What's the point of having a person on camera that literally has no custody of children? It's makes zero sense to me. And given everything that happened with Janelle, I mean, listen, we all know what happened with Janelle. I guess we don't really need anything to happen in the circuses or in the court system because she's admitted it. David's admitted it. She was actually on TMZ Live, and she was interviewed by multiple outlets and has said that David even... Well, actually, no, I forgot to tell you this part. Radar Online actually reported last week that part of David's testimony in the CPS investigation related to the fact that what he did to the dog, and he admitted to it on the stand. And Janelle was actually in the room when he made those statements. So Janelle's claims that she knows nothing is really pretty... We all know it's a lie. We know she knows something. We've seen the screenshots of her involvement. We know that the children witnessed it. We know that she heard noises. And so, but there was no conviction, no trial, no nothing. In fact, Sheriff's County is not even going to do anything. But in this case, there's tons of probable cause. They've already gone through with the probable cause. They're moving towards the next steps, and they still haven't fired her. And that concerns me. I mean, this was a 1-year-old child that was involved in this. She's admitted that the 1-year-old child was involved with it, but it's only if the cucumber was involved that will be the nail in the coffin for her. And that seems hypocritical to me, to be quite frank. whether it's a shoe or a cucumber, it shouldn't matter if a child is in the middle of something. No child should be in the middle of any sort of altercation, period. And the fact that this is, MTV is going to wade through the waters and determine what to do just shows how classless this network is in regards to the safety of children. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Like, children are an afterthought on this show. Children are exploited for ratings. Their parents are exploiting them for cash. They're putting all of their most like intimate and ridiculous like drama out to everyone. It's gotten to a point where these children will never have a normal childhood because everyone knows who they are. Like in the case of, say, Bentley, everything that's going on with his dad is airing in near damn real time, maybe a couple months off. He's in school. Kids at this point, at their age, they know who he is. They know that he's on a show, and they're going to know who his dad is. So anytime it makes headlines, they know it's him. Same thing with Leah. They know that Amber is Leah's mom. They know everything that's going on. Hi, honey. I'm
Mommy.
on. What?
Guys, Mama already had 2 stuffy orcas.
Yeah?
Guys, I the other one downstairs, like, not like the one that doesn't move, the one that actually moves. I'm trying to look for the other one.
Well, you'll have to look because Mommy's online. Can you ask Sam to help you?
I was just asking where it is.
Check down in the basement. Sorry, guys. My little boy's looking for a stuffed orca. We are really into stuffies right now. Okay. So there seems to be a lot of just inconsistencies with how MTV handles problematic cast members. And then there also seems to be an inconsistency in the safety of the children in these cases. No matter who's involved and no matter what's going on, these kids have zero privacy, period. We know Carly, even though she's never really even been on the show. We know Bentley, we know Leah, we know Jace. And it's like, these kids have zero, and for God's sake, Jace, look at what he's probably had to live through. And he's, all of this is on camera. Everything is caught. Like, all of the stuff that they deal with, none of it goes away. In reality, what should have happened was in 2011, when she was put into the circus and she went behind the clinker and spent 17 months there, she should have, at that point, been terminated. They should have cut ties because that incident did involve Leah. She wasn't harmed, but she was in the room. Clearly, she was demonstrating back then that she wasn't safe. And then she since then has been on Marriage Boot Camp, which I have been rewatching these episodes of Marriage Boot Camp, which aired in 2018, but I believe was filmed in 2017. And she has thus far into 2 episodes already gotten into multiple altercations with people. And Matt says that it doesn't take anything for Amber to go off on someone. In fact, I'll give you an example of what triggered Amber in one of the episodes. In the very first episode, they were discussing reality TV. And the father of Brandy Glanville, who is on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and I don't know if she's on there anymore, but was also married to Eddie Cibrian, the one that is now Leanne's husband. So she was on there and her dad was talking about how he just wished that his daughter wasn't on reality TV, didn't put everything out there, was a little bit more modest. And one of the contestants, or I guess one of the family members that was on the show in a different family, was just talking about how reality TV in general is fake. It's all done from a production value. You have to understand things from a grain of salt, that producers are looking for drama, and that if you can and he was just trying to help Brandy's dad realize that not everything you see on TV is real. He wasn't condoning things. He wasn't like downing anyone that was in reality TV. He wasn't doing anything really at this point that would have been directly related to Amber. In fact, Amber wasn't even in this conversation. But she lashes out, she responds, she starts screaming and yelling about how That's not how reality shows are. She keeps it real. Every show on MTV is real. There's nothing scripted about what she does. How dare he talk about reality TV show like that? And then she ends up wanting to get into a fight with this man's girlfriend because the girlfriend was like, stop it. Like, what is your problem? Why are you yelling at us? He wasn't even talking to you. And they had to actually remove every single person from the room. They had to sit her down. She was lashing out at the freaking doctors. They had to like move her to a table, calm her down, sit her down. And this is just insane to me. And this was the first night. She also threatens multiple cast members on that show during that season. You can actually, if you're interested in watching the season, you can get it on Amazon Prime. I think you can buy the full season for $25, or you can buy single episodes on Amazon Prime. I'm not affiliated. I'm not sponsored anything. I actually just wanted to rewatch everything just to get an idea of like what she was like on the show. I watched it the first go round, but I wanted to like refresh myself. And it's very clear that even as early as 2017, she was showing signs that this was problems, and MTV didn't do anything. And I think MTV, for them, it's just like, she's really good drama. People are going to tune in. And now they're in a ratings crisis. Since they fired Farrah, the episodes that are airing on TV now are not getting the kind of viewers that they once were. In fact, their most recent episode had like under 900,000 viewers, which is not good. In their heyday, or even when Farrah was around, they were averaging anywhere from 1.3 to 1.7 million people watching a show weekly, and now they can't even get a million. In fact, by the end of last season, they were averaging around 500,000 viewers per week. So the only thing that they have left for this show in terms of drama is Amber. So cutting ties with her would definitely like result in the end of this series, because Macy doesn't bring drama. I mean, she has drama in her life, but it's nothing as compelling or as volatile as Amber. Caitlyn and Tyler are pretty mellow. You don't see them really fighting with anyone. And Cheyenne, as I've said multiple times, is absolutely irrelevant. So there's a reason why they're not firing her. They know if they fire her, this show is over. Just completely over. And how do you even get to this point, MTV? I mean, how do you get to this point? And I'll be interested, you guys, to see what happens to Teen Mom 2 once they come back. Now, they did hire Jade, who has a mother who has all kinds of issues, and Jade herself is like very dramatic, and so that might not be a bad thing. She was from Teen Mom Young and Pregnant, the spinoff that was actually canceled because it didn't garner any ratings. We'll see how that goes. But at the same time, like with Janelle gone, it'll be interesting to see if anyone will be interested in investing in Jade when fans weren't even invested in the show to begin with. Like, I don't know that anyone was really watching Teen Mom Young and Pregnant. It was a flop. So it's just going to be really difficult to see how this works. And I don't understand why they don't just end this now. At this point, MTV not saying anything is really starting to become an issue for a lot of people. People on Twitter are starting to like demand that she be fired. I think personally, I mean, my opinion doesn't really matter. MTV doesn't care what I say, but I don't think she deserves to be on this show anymore. I think children's should definitely, their safety is always paramount. And to be honest, these girls Amber's 29. She's not a child anymore. Macy's 28. I think Caitlyn's 27. These aren't teens anymore. These are adult women. Move on, find something new, get something fresh. Maybe like Tana's new show will bring in new audiences. But this whole teen mom stuff is getting really old. And I think they're so far removed from who they were in the beginning that it's not even really showing average issues anymore. Sure, we're seeing a lot of the side effects that are the consequences that can happen in terms of when children are born to adolescence, like they were, in terms of like instability with family members, issues with, parents becoming incarcerated, that kind of stuff. But we're definitely well past the teen years. And I think it's time we just hang this up. There's got to be other shows out there that could fill this. And none of these castmates are doing anything productive with themselves. And MTV has kind of ruined them in a way. They've not learned skill sets. They don't have jobs. They rely solely on income that they earn through endorsements and sponsorships and through product lines that they've launched on the backs of MTV. This just needs to end, and they need to get rid of Amber. And I feel like the longer they say nothing, the worse this is going to get for MTV. Perhaps maybe talking to TMZ on the like down low, like off the record or as an anonymous source was MTV's way of saying something without saying something. But at the same time, I would think that a formal statement should have been made at this point from MTV, even if they don't fire her, related to what happened. Because not saying anything at this point almost shows like you're condoning this. Like, yep, it's totally fine. It's completely okay what happened here. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. That's not okay. Reality TV as a whole is so problematic for so many reasons, and this is just one of the many reasons it is. And it's one of the many reasons why I cover this sort of stuff, because every time you turn around, one of these stars are like in the news for doing something terrible. And we've made people that have literally no talents famous for simply getting pregnant when they were kids. I have thought a lot about that, Chakotay, what their lives would be like had they not had MTV's cash. And I guarantee you that Amber would likely still be living in poverty. Kate and Tyler would very likely still be living in poverty because they never went to school, they never had ambition, and they might have had more ambition or more drive had they not had that cash from MTV to actually do something productive. Like, how many years did we hear that Tyler was going to go back to school to be a counselor? How many times did we hear that Caitlin was going to go get her college degree to work in psychology? Years and years and years, and they've never done it. Not once. And there was questions related to, does Farrah have her bachelor's degree? She does. I verified that. She does have her bachelor's degree. She earned it, I think, in 2013 or 2014. I think it's in culinary arts or something related to that matter. But she does have the bachelor's degree. She did finish that. So she's finished the bachelor's, and so has Kale. But that's it. Nobody else has gone to college. Macy's dropped out. Leah's attempted multiple times and dropped out. I don't even think Kaylin and Tyler have taken a dang class. We know Amber hasn't done anything. It's just so sad here. And I feel for these kids. They're not getting an example at all of what it's like to have to work and to have work ethic and the value of education. And listen, I'm not condoning you if you have not received secondary education. I realize that a lot of people do not get college degrees, but in today's society, there's a huge need for people, especially our children, to get their degrees if they want to be successful in this world. It's becoming harder and harder for people to actually make income and sustain income without a bachelor's degree. And having no role models without college education is sort of repeating the cycle of where they're coming from, where people don't have bachelor's degrees. And the only way that you can get out of that cycle is by doing something to show your child that you're going to do better. So I get concerned about the futures of these kids. I get concerned about where they're going to be, where they're going to go, what their lives are going to look like. How do you even have what? Dawn, I'm online.
I'm trying to find that. I'm trying to find that organ. I'm trying to. Me and my nurse trying to find it.
Okay, well, listen.
We can't find it.
Give me a few more minutes and I'll come downstairs and I'll help you, okay?
Okay, just.
I'm almost done, okay? We have We have an orca situation in the house, you guys. I'm going to have to get off here so I can help my son find the missing orca. If you have a child with autism, you will know that as soon as they get fixated on something that they want, you'll have to come hell or high water. You will have to find that thing. Otherwise, it will create a massive meltdown. So I work, I guess I'm not saying, Renee, that all of these people have issues. I know that Cole and Chelsea have done stuff, and, some of these are not typical. Taylor has a job that's made very good money, but you have to remember a lot of this comes at the heels of MTV. Chelsea and Cole also have a really overly priced product line that they sell, which she would never be able to sell without MTV. And if you check out her product lines, everything is ridiculously overpriced. It's not worth the money. And I would rather you spend your money, just go to frickin' Macy's if you want a backpack or some stuff for your kids. Anyways, this is where we're at. It sounds like MTV is going to wait to say anything. I feel like people need to start making a stink on Twitter the same way they made a stink on Janelle. You guys need to start tweeting at MTV, tell them your frustration, demand that they say something, because the only reason anything happened with Janelle is because there was like this massive outrage. And I just haven't seen that outrage yet on Twitter related to Amber in the direction of get her off the show. So if you want her off the show, you got to tell them. You got to show them. You also have to advertisers need to step up and be like, we don't want to be associated with this. This is not okay. And yes, we can say that she has mental illness and all of that, but that's never an excuse for violence. That's never an excuse to get a child involved, period. All right, you guys. So I have to go, but I'll keep you posted. For now, it sounds like her job is likely on the line. It's going to be pretty hard for her to get out of this. So I will hope that the days are numbered, and perhaps this might be the end of Teen Mom OG. You can check out my column on Patheos. I've written an article about this along with Farrah Abraham, and I will be back. I hear you and I see you when you're talking about Tila Tequila. I will get an episode out here soon related to that, as well as I will get you an update about what I'm doing with the Today Show. All right, you guys, I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.